I wanna live. I've been a miner for a heart of gold. This needs expression I never give. Searching for a heart of gold. And I'm getting old. Keep me searching for a heart of gold. And I'm getting old. I've been to Hollywood, I've been to Redwood, I crossed the ocean for a heart of gold. I've been in my mind, it's such a fine mind, it keeps me searching for a heart of gold. And I'm getting old. Keep me searching for a heart of gold. And I'm getting old. Keep me searching for a heart of gold. Keep me searching and I'm growing old. Keep me searching for a heart of gold. I've been a miner for a heart of gold.
Thank you all for coming. Justin, would be honored to see everyone here today. Justin gave me the most precious years of our life with our two sons. We have good kids, he would always say. He was intelligent, funny, and simple. He challenged us to question ideas and give evidence. He could be impatient and gruff at times, however, he had a big heart that overflowed for his boys, family, and friends. We had a shared love of nature, and he was always excited to send me photos of a bobcat or wild ducks on the pond. Simple pleasures gave him such joy. While we miss him dearly, I want you to remember him whenever you see nature's beauty, and remember his love for you. He will be there for us always.
It's very well said. Stole about everything I was going to say. That's cool. Good evening, everybody. My name is Greg Freiberger. I was one of Justin's friends. I had the pleasure of knowing Justin in college. I had the displeasure of only knowing Justin from college. It's my honor to be able to help present this service tonight. Because my knowledge of Justin only started in college, I think it's only right to have someone come up and talk about Justin prior to college. And so I'd ask for Aaron Mock to please come up. I was talking with Aaron briefly about Justin. I found out that Aaron's known him for a long, long time, and they were on the same swim team. Apparently, it was a good swim team as kids. I didn't even know he could float. See him, you would know what I'm talking about.
Thank you, Greg. I don't really like the term or phrase "my best friend" because that kind of inherently implies that there's only one. But if you're somebody that measures the value of a friendship by the number and the quality of moments that you share with someone, then I've never had a better friend than just we're all going through this and we're all trying to make sense of anything, and the realization is that we can't. But there are certain things that you can look back on Justin and remember. It's hard to put into words just how special he is and why he was special, but I think it's, every human, I think, always wants everyone around them to be happy. I don't think we ever want to have like the negative Nancy around us or this and that. Justin had this gift that wherever he was, everybody that was around him was happy. Wasn't necessarily always the life of the party, but he just commanded a happiness that was hard to explain. It wasn't anything special that he said or anything that he did. It was just what was special about him that kind of created that environment for himself and made him such a joy to be around and be able to share these moments with. These last 3 weeks have been hard for a lot of people. But one of the things that I really wanted to share was all the people from Boonville that have reached out to me during this time, and nobody shared a specific story about a memory that they had with Justin, but a very common thread from everybody was, man, some of my favorite memories at a very young age were with Justin in it. And it just kind of goes to show how powerful that was and how much he meant to a lot of people. And during that process, I kind of started to realize that there wasn't any moment that I shared with Justin that was any more special than any moment that he shared with anybody else. He loved everyone that he was around. That's everyone in this room. And I think that anybody that's ever been able to share one memory with Justin should consider themselves lucky. I know we're all here because we shared a lot more than one of those memories with him. And while we try to make sense of this, we can't. There's nothing happy about this. But I do think that all of us can walk away from here today, no matter what your relationship was with him, whether he was your friend, your father, your husband, your brother, or your son. I think we should all feel lucky that we got to have Justin in our lives for the short time that we had. I just wanted to share that with you. Okay.
You did that without a single note. I saw a phrase. Let's start early. The phrase was, how lucky we are to have loved somebody so much to mourn him. It's the truth. All right, get it together. So my job is that of a trial attorney. Okay, I go to court and I present evidence and I talk to judicial officers. And part of my job as a trial attorney is I got to deliver something called a summation. Okay, you might know this as a closing argument. It's where after all the evidence has been taken in, I go in front of the jury or the judge and I explain it to them and I summarize it. And I make it all make sense. That's my job, okay? Today, I can't make this make sense. It's not fair. But what I can do is I can celebrate Justin's life. For instance, we can all celebrate Justin's love for animals. April tells me that she wants to beg him to let her foster kittens. And he reluctantly agreed, but she could see the pain in his eyes every time one of those kittens would get adopted. He also loved his dogs, often taking them with him on hikes or hunting. People who love animals like JP did, they exhibit the evidence of deep humanity. Care for animals, those who are dependent upon you for your affection, and cannot form words to tell you what they need. It tells you the kind of deep and empathetic person JP was. JP was an outdoorsman in every fiber of his being. His passion for travel and nature wasn't just a pastime. You could say the quiet of nature also defined him as a man. Maybe it was his love of nature which kept him so grounded. As you'll rarely find someone who is as down to earth or as easy to talk to and laugh with. If you've ever spent time in the wilderness, you know that the calmness of nature reminded you of him. The outdoors brings us back to what is real and what is spiritual. Spending time in the wilderness has the effect of returning you to your basics, where cell phones, computers, and deadlines, they don't really pose much of a disruptive threat. I think JP found peace and purpose in the simplicity of the great outdoors. He understood that life was most richly experienced beyond four walls, where the rustle of leaves and the songs of birds provided a soundtrack more profound than any composed melody, except for those, of course, composed by Eddie Vedder. JP was a friend. He was a son, he was a brother, he was a husband, he was a father. I haven't got the time available here nor the breath within me to be able to describe what he meant to each of us in all of those roles. How a man can be so understated, yet mean so much to each of us, is a true testament to the man he was. He was the friend who would go with you on a spontaneous trip, whether fishing or Mardi Gras, and he would make it more memorable than you could have ever imagined. He's the brother who would stand up for you till he couldn't stand anymore. Jared, I'm certain he was honored by the fact that he is your brother. Your battles as brothers only brought you closer. As adult brothers, I'm sure there are days when it felt like you drifted apart. But as brothers do, you're always with each other in spirit. Today, I envy your brotherly bond, JP. He was a devoted husband who loved you, April. Like in all marriages, I'm certain you had your disagreements. It's the closeness of our marital bonds which often breed those disagreements. But I know he loved you with a singular love that he had for nobody else. I'm certain he still loves you. Get it together. He was the proud father. He was the proud father to Elijah and Miles. Boys, the unfairness to you of your dad's passing cannot be overstated. Please know that he smiles upon you every single day. He's proud of who you are, and he will always be with you as you carry on. Don't allow your current grief to stunt your development into the man that he was. Within you is him, both spiritually and biologically. I know you have the internal strength that he had. And don't be afraid to have fun. The grief of losing your dad won't exactly heal, but it will get easier. I'm certain he wants to see you happy. So go ahead and fully feel your grief, but eventually let it go when the time is right. Letting go of grief is not letting go of your father. Embracing the joy life has to offer will be the same as embracing him. JP had a way of inspiring us to slow life down, to savor the breeze, to appreciate the quiet moments that are so often lost in our daily busy lives. His generosity of spirit was evident, whether offering a helping hand to a friend, showing us how to find joy in travel and new experiences, or simply by sitting in patience and empathy over a frosty drink. JP made us all feel valued. He didn't judge. He was pure, without false pretense. His laughter was hearty and effortless, resonating with the same natural and simple beauty that he cherished in nature. I loved when I could get a true deep laugh out of him. It seemed to carry on longer than others. It made me feel like I had value, like I had just done something worthwhile. And it was only a laugh. While I'm certain JP would have chosen to stay with us longer if it was his decision, we should know that our spirits will meet this again someday. I believe that to be true, and I look forward to one day feeling his laughter again. We should honor him not just by mourning his death, but by embracing what we learned by being with him, to seek adventure, cherish the small moments, and above all, find the simple beauty in the complex world around us. And while it will be tough to do, I invite you not to see JP's death as leaving an absence in our lives. Sure, we will no longer be able to enjoy his physical presence. However, we are all spiritual. And as such, I have no doubts that JP is simply moving on in that continuum of spirituality, which is the realm where he and we have always essentially been. When you feel a cool breeze of an incoming storm, or when you gaze upon art that somehow moves you, or when you hear a song or a voice in that music which speaks to your souls, it's largely a spiritual effect rather than a physical one. We may think we love someone for their looks, their walk, or the way they look at us, but isn't it really for their spiritual qualities, like their warmth, their humor or intelligence, their adventurous spirit, or their laugh? And it's how those qualities make you feel that is spiritual. Those qualities in them connected us and made us feel spiritual. And those qualities are recognized by the Spirit in you. It is that spiritual attraction within us which is not physical or material. So although this sense of loss is brutal and a shock, when you can look at it and feel the gratitude you have for having loved JP, a sense of reality can take over. And we can come to the reasonable conclusion that spirituality is reality. Perhaps it's the only reality. Continuing reality that's unaffected by death. It's as real as anything physical. The way to peace today is, yes, to mourn, as we all are, but also to free JP in our minds and hearts, and to realize he is always whole, always real, because he is spiritual, and so are we. We don't become spiritual when we die. We have always been spiritual. I knew that when I felt what it was like to give him a good laugh. I knew that when we could debate religion. And I knew that when I knew that he was my friend and I was his. JP and I are tied to each other forever, as are all of you, through the Spirit. So, today, we say goodbye to a man whose soul and spirit will forever roam the wilderness he loved so much. JP, rest peacefully. Your trails are now boundless and eternal. Hike them or run them as you will. We bid you farewell, but we'll be reminded of you in countless ways through the nature you love. Until our spirits meet again.
Yes, I understand every life must end. As we sit alone, I know someday we must go on. Oh, I'm a lucky man to count on both hands the ones I love. Some folks just have one, yeah, others they got none. Stay with me, yeah, let's just breathe. Practice on skills, never gonna let me win. Under everything, just another human being. Yeah, I don't wanna hurt. There's so much in this world that makes me believe. Stay with me, oh, Lord, I see. Yeah, I say that I need you. I say that I want you. Oh, if I did, I'm a fool to see. No one knows this more than me. As I come clean, I wonder if it is a look upon your face. Everything you gave and nothing you would escape. Nothing you would take. Everything you gave. Did I say that I need you? Oh, did I say that I want you? Oh, if I did, now I'm a fool, you see. No one knows this more than me. That I come cleaner. Nothing you would take. Everything you gave. Only till I meet you on the other side.
No, on behalf of the family, they would like to thank everyone for coming. This will conclude our services here tonight, but feel free as you get ready to go to visit with the family as you leave. You guys are dismissed.
We're not going back. You guys. You have to.